Hey everyone, welcome to my new channel, Ashley Scrubs, and today I'm going to show everyone how I make my titles in Design Space. So, I'm going to recreate an existing title just to make it easy for today. So everyone seems to like this too cool title right here. So I'm just going to click it, press customize. I'm going to save my other project, whatever that was. So this is brought up in Design Space. So the measurements right here basically means how big it's going to be on your map. And you can highlight the whole thing, and at the bottom it shows how big it'll be. So in this case, it'll be 1.85 inches by 7.69 inches. So the first thing you're going to want to do here is to make the letters first. So you're going to go over here to the text tool and click it. And it should bring up the Cricut default sans text. But here I have this text called stencil in font. So to get there, I went to System, this little tab right here, and I just scrolled all the way down to the S. This is all alphabetical order. See, it starts as A, and then you would scroll to the bottom, it would be Z. So I would just scroll up a little bit, and I would have the stencil text right here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click it a couple times to get this cursor in here. And then just exit out all those, because I don't want those there. And for we're going to make a vertical title today. So I'm going to type in cool, and then click out of it to make the transform tools available. And before I do that, I'm going to just size this to be a little smaller so I can see it. So what I'm going to do is take this middle box where it shows these horizontal arrows. That means I can drag it inwards to make it vertical, just like that. As you can see with this, there's spaces in between all the letters, which I don't really like. So I'm going to go up to line space right here. As you can see, it's at 1. And you can go into the negative numbers and it makes it smaller. So I just like to guess a little bit to make it where I want it to be. So I'm just going to do -5. So you can see it squeezes it closer together. So I like that. So I'm going to drag it over a little bit. And to make these sunglasses, it's really easy. You don't even have to make it. Just go over to images right here. And you can press in the search bar and do sunglasses. And as you can see, there's a lot of results that come up, but these are all available in Cricut Access. 99% of these are only available if you pay the subscription every month or every year, whatever you decide. So I like to go up here in the filters and press free, and it shows all of the free images that you'll be able to use. So here's the sunglasses that I want to use. So I just click on it and I press add to canvas. After a second, it should come up and size them a little smaller and bring them over here. Now to replace the O's, I like to press my title and press before the L. And if I press before the L, it should bring this cursor be in front of the O's right there. So I'm going to want to press backspace twice to get rid of those O's. And to make a space for the sunglasses, I'm going to press enter twice. And I can do a couple more times depending on what you want. So what I'm going to do is take this and drag my mouse to the corner. And if I drag it to the corner, it should show these curvy arrows right here, which means you can turn it. So I'm just going to make it so it's around 270, so it will be around there. And then size it smaller to fit right in between the C and the L. That looks pretty good, but the colors are all different. So to change all the colors, I'm going to press on the sunglasses, because these aren't grouped yet, so you can press everything in different times. So I'm going to go up to the Operation tab right here, and this little red square, I'm going to click on that and press black. These are the material colors of what's already existing on my canvas. But what you can do is either press any of these colors right here or press advanced and you have access to every single color you can think of. And this is just to see what colors work together on here before you print it out. And it's really nice to have in Cricut Design Space. I'm just gonna have this black because that's what I have over here, and I'm just recreating this. So the sunglasses are changed, so now I'm gonna change the letters the same way. So I'm gonna press on those, go back up to the same spot, and press a different gray that's a little lighter so it contrasts with the black. So now we're almost there, but we still don't have these borders right here, and these borders are called offsets. And these offsets are going to be your best friends when you make titles in Design Space. So they're all different layers, so there's 2 different offsets that I like to use. I like to use 2 in my titles. So to make the first one, what you're going to do is go away from your design and click and drag until you get this gray box around it. Then let go, and it should all be selected. And once it's all selected, you would go to this little offset button right up here, and you would press it. As you can see here, there's a blue line around it which shows how thick that offset will be. So you're just going to drag this little circle down until it's the thickness you want it to be. That looks about good. So I'm going to press apply. As you can see, the offset's all black, which is not working well with the sunglasses here. So what I'm going to do is change the color the exact same way as we've been changing colors before. And I'm just going to press this off-white that I created earlier. It's just a little darker yellow. And that's the first offset. Now to make the second offset, I would do the exact same thing. I would click and hold and drag to select everything. And I would press the offset again, and it should make another offset line around it. So I like that thickness, so I'm just going to press apply right away, and it'll just do automatically black. So if you want to move things around in Design Space, you can't just click and drag, or it'll just click and drag one thing. So what you need to do is select everything at once so you can move it around. But one thing I did forget was the 2 up here. So if I wanted to do that, that's okay. If you wanted to add something later, you would just, that's the wrong offset. You would click off on these offsets right here, get rid of those, and you can add another text that you want. I'm going to put 2 here, just like up there. I'm going to make it 15, so it's a lot smaller than my regular one. So it's really, really easy to change things up in Design Space to the way that you want them to. So I'm going to drag this up here and put it on top. I want this to be a different color, so I'm going to just press black and do the same thing. Click and drag, highlight everything, press offset, and apply. If you want to change the color, just go up to this little square, press any color you want, and it should change it for you. And one more offset, and press apply, and you have a title that you made. And as you saw there, you probably saw some holes underneath there. So if I turned off this text right here and this offset, you would see little holes that you probably don't want there. To get rid of those so your Cricut doesn't have to do any extra work, you would press one of the offsets that has the holes in it. In this case, it's the black one. And I would go down to contour down here, which is the little circle with the dotted lines. So I'd press it. As you can see, there's all of these holes. I don't want them to cut that because it's just going to be hidden anyway. So you can do one of two things. So you can either click each one to make it go away, or what you can do is just press hide all contours. And if you hide all the contours, then I'll just hide these, then all of the holes are gone. And some good keyboard shortcuts to know. It's Control Z, which is undo, so you can undo things easily. You can do Control Z or Control C, Control V, which helps you copy and paste. So if I highlight this, if I wanted 2 titles, then I just can do Control C, Control V. It would make another one. And then you can do that as many times as you want. And if you just want to get rid of something entirely, you press Control X and it just gets rid of it for you. So I'm gonna Control X this one since I already made it over here. And I'm gonna show you how to make it. Not physically, I'll do that in another video, but I'm just gonna go up here to make it. So what you're gonna wanna do is connect your Cricut. Depending on what material you're using, you're gonna wanna pick which one. So without matte is for like the smart vinyl, which I don't have. There's an on matte one, which is for any material on your mat, which I'm going to use. And then this one's for cards, and this one is multiple ways for each of these. But for this one, I'm just going to use the on the mat. And this is connected to my Joy, so I have the choice to either do the smaller one or the bigger one. But in this case, I want to do the bigger one, so I'm going to press that, make sure the green circle is in there, just confirm. It should bring up all of these steps right here. So this is the very first one. You want to make sure it's basic cut to cut these correctly. So this is the first offset that we have here, which is the white one. And as you can see, this is what it shows like on the mat. And what I like to do, a good tip, is to not fill your whole mat with paper every time. Every single time I make a title, I always cut a little bit more. So in this case, I do 2 inches by 8 inches to make sure I don't waste any paper. Just have a little bit of a border so it doesn't cut off the edge of anything. And it would be the same for this one. So you can see the 2 is out here. So, and the sunglasses are right here. But if I wanted to save some paper, I can actually click and drag it. And then you can turn it around to place it on your mat any way you like. So you can do that to save paper. And in this case, I would do around 3.5, which is right here, and to 8. So 3.5 by 8 inches to save a lot of paper. So then I don't have a lot of big chunky scraps laying around because I don't want that. And then there's this final one, which is the dark gray. And sadly, you can't really move these letters around, so there's going to be a gap in the middle, since this is how they were typed on the format over there. So you're just going to have to cut it out this way, but you can still do 2 by 7 since it's in that range, and you can save a lot of paper. So what you're going to want to do first is load your mat with white paper. Then you would press continue. And it's connecting to my Joy. It's already connected there. And what it's going to want me to do is pick what I'm going to be using. I always do insert cardstock. And it's going to ask you to do that. And you're going to want to barely touch your mat into your Joy. Like this is a tutorial on doing it on a Joy. You can really do it on any Cricut, but I only have a Joy, so that's what I'm doing. You're going to barely want to put it in there so it makes it so it lines it up into the machine. You'll get what I mean when you actually do it, but that's what you're going to do for every single one so it lines it up. And then you're just going to press go and it'll cut it for you. And then you're going to want to make sure you're pressing on each individual one and switch your color out every single time that you do it. And press insert cardstock and just cut each one. So I hope you enjoyed that video on how to make that titles, and I hope that you can make some as well and that it works out for you. And come back next time for another video.